So this week I was debating on what to do for the video this week, and then it became pretty clear to me that I think a straightforward video about how to make the literacy narrative better would just be the best course of action for this week. So that's what this video is. This is just going to be straightforward, telling you how to make your literacy narrative better. And I think this is something that will benefit all of you, whether you got an A on the paper or whether you unfortunately got an F on the paper. Because a number of people have been having some trouble with this. So this video is going to contain information that is in a lot of other places, but I want to just give you something very easy to watch that's, under 15 minutes, where you can get a really good sense of how to make the essay better. Okay? So let's get to it. So the first thing, make sure that you are reading my feedback. Okay? This is something you simply have to do in order to improve your writing skills. Okay? I know that it's difficult to see criticism. I know it can be difficult, especially if there are a lot of comments on it. But this is one of the most important keys to getting better, is you have to be able to absorb feedback and be able to take criticism. Okay, this is super important because the unfortunate reality is that this is the easiest and most efficient way. Because we are not meeting in person, I'm not able to talk to you in class and give you things that will help you. So the most efficient way that I can help you is by giving you feedback on multiple drafts, which is what I'm doing, giving you feedback first on the first draft of the literacy narrative, as well as the final draft of the literacy narrative. So keep this in mind. There are two ways to seek external help. The first of which is to make an appointment with the Center for Writing and Communication, the CWC. Okay, we've talked about how to make an appointment with the CWC multiple times. If you see a tutor before you turn in your draft, you will receive 10 extra points on your first draft grade. You cannot receive extra credit on any of your final drafts. These are the equivalent of tests or exams. Okay, so I'm not letting you get any extra credit on those assignments. I will give you opportunities for extra credit on the smaller ones, but never on the major ones. So even though you've already received your grade for the first draft, you can go and get another 10 points added by going to the CWC. Now that's not the reason you should go. It is incentive, but you should go because it's going to help your writing get better, which is the ultimate goal. All of your writing needs to improve if you are going to pass this class. Okay, the other thing that you need to do and consider is make an appointment with me over Skype. If you received a D or an F, or if you did not turn in the first draft, this is a requirement. Okay? And I'm serious about this. If you have received a D or an F, if you don't make an appointment and you turn in your final draft, I'm not going to accept it, and you are going to receive a 0. Okay, so we need to take this very seriously. Alright, now you can you email me to make an appointment, make it 24 hours in advance. If you're listening to this on Monday, then it's getting pretty late, so you need to do this very quickly. If you're listening to this or watching this Wednesday or Thursday, you have a little bit of time, but again, you want to do this as quickly as possible. Make sure that you have set up a Skype account. It is free to do so. Use your personal emails. Don't try to use your university emails. You can find me there, Jerome Cuson from Chicago, Illinois, or the name is Hook and Ladder. That is the Skype name that I picked out for myself. Part 2. So there are 2 paragraphs that everybody needs to look at very closely, the first of which is the introduction. The introduction must be a summary of your entire literacy experience. You need to try to hint at events and sponsors in this paragraph. Many people started their narrative writing the introduction. That is not what I wanted you to do. Your introduction is a summary of your entire literacy experience. And I hope that reading student examples number 2 and 3 have helped you in understanding how to write the introduction and how to write the introduction well. Okay? But this is something that most everyone's going to need to work on. The other paragraph is the conclusion. You need to answer the question, so what? Who cares? Why does this matter? Make sure that it is not a summary. Your summary goes in the introduction. Make sure that new information is not introduced. But the purpose of the conclusion is to tell me how all of these previous literacy experiences have helped you get to this point where you are in the University of Memphis taking this English 1010 course. Okay? So make sure that these introductions and the conclusions are following directions. This is really, really important. Okay, you need to start your reader with a good impression. You need to leave your reader with a good impression. General paragraph development. Okay, these are a list of items that are going to help your essays be better. 8 to 10 sentences per paragraph. That is a guideline. It's not a hard rule. Okay, but you need to avoid having one-sentence paragraphs, and you need to make sure you do not have paragraphs that are a full page long. Okay, throughout your essay, you need to be addressing questions such as how and why. This means giving specific details and examples. This is what makes your narrative special and distinct, is your ability to add details and examples. Also, do not lose the narrative. This is a story that you should develop over the course of 4 to 5 pages. Part of not losing the narrative is making sure that you are telling the story in chronological order. For a couple people, that was an issue. So make sure that you are doing your best to keep the narrative and make sure that you're in chronological order. Don't forget, you're not just addressing the sponsors, but you are also addressing your experiences as well. Okay, you need to talk about those experiences, not just the people that helped you. You also want to include some reflective aspects in your literacy narrative, and do not forget to discuss growth mindset. Okay, part 4 is to look for common mistakes. When I say common mistakes, I'm talking about MLA style. You want to avoid comma splices, run-on sentences, and fragments. Okay, these are the kinds of errors that I saw in a lot of student papers. Okay? So it'd be really beneficial for you as you read over this paper, or your paper, these are the kinds of sentence structure errors that you need to avoid. And when it comes to MLA style, I don't know what else to do. I have provided you with an example. I have provided you with a video. This is just something that needs to be fixed, and it needs to be correct. Okay? When it comes to second person usage, that's also something you want to avoid. Not using the words you and your. When we talk about word choice, using words like until. There is no such word as till or T-I-L-L, till. Okay, so word choice is really important. Alright, make sure you get this correct. Also, apostrophes, especially when you are showing possession. Okay? When you show possession, you need to have the apostrophes in the right place. So some of you may need to go back and watch the week 4 video again, and you may need to seek some additional help when it comes to apostrophes, but this is something that you need to keep in mind. And also just general comma usage, especially after introductory phrases. This was if I said to put commas in specific places in a lot of ways, that had to do with introductory phrases. The other thing that you should all consider doing is using Grammarly. There is a free version and a paid version for guidance and help. Okay? Grammarly is a site that we went over in our virtual class meeting. If you do a simple Google search, it will take you to where you need to go. Okay? But you need to make sure that you are doing your best on the grammar part of things as well. Content is the emphasis, but there were a few students who had sentence errors in just about every single sentence, and you just can't do that. Okay? I don't, and it's one of those things where, we talk about the wrong way to teach grammar, but I still have to be able to read your writing, and I can't do that if you have sentence errors in every sentence. Okay? And the final part, just kind of wrap things up. You guys have to read your papers out loud multiple times, and each time you read your paper, it needs to be for different things. The first thing is you should revise your paper for content level errors. This has to do with development in organization. Look for where to add sentences to paragraphs before coming up with multiple paragraphs. Because you want to make sure your paragraphs are also not too long either. But I always recommend to students add to the paragraphs that you have before you make the choice to put in new ones. Once you are satisfied with the content, then shift your reading to sentence structure and grammar. Each time you read, you should be reading for something different. This means one reading should be designed to identify run-ons. So that means that you sit there and you read your essay and you only look for run-on sentences. That means, again, that you are reading your paper multiple times, but each reading should have a specific focus. Another should be eliminating use of the second person. Okay? These are examples. I'm not saying that everybody makes these mistakes, but each reading must have a specific content, sentence structure, or grammatical focus to it. Alright? That is the only way that you are going to achieve success, is by learning how to identify your own mistakes before I catch them. Okay, because the amount of comments that I put on your essays is going to start lessening as the semester goes along, because the expectation is that you are going to figure the mistakes out yourself. And if you don't do that, then your grades are going to start to go down. Okay, so you all have to put the work in. Alright, there is no extra credit that is coming from this video. Many of the videos for the rest of the semester will not have extra credit. Okay, but that still means that you need to be watching them. And I reserve the right to include extra credit in a video if I so choose. So don't risk it. Make sure that you are watching these videos so that you are following up with the course and that you are getting the maximum amount of points. Okay, I want to wish everyone luck on the literacy narrative this week. My expectation is that it will be on time. If they are not, then you need to let me know as soon as possible. But this is crunch time for this essay, and my hope is that you all have success. So thank you very much, and good luck.